Alabama football is in the 60-day range right now to kicking off, right? 66 days to be exact. What's the biggest trap game that you're worried about on the Bama schedule? Or do they even exist anymore? Is every game a potential trap game with the way that NIL works in this new world of college football? We're going to get into that. We'll talk about some other stuff too. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Know that we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. It's hot out there. Geyser Falls, the water park's open. Take the kids, put them in the lazy river, and then do like this guy. Go out and golf. Maybe go inside and play table games and slots. Win a bunch of money. It's all available for you. An hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. Let's look at this fella with his helmet on. Next time we're at Pearl River, steaks on you. Would you rather, let me ask you a serious question here. Would you rather pay for my steak at Philip M. Steakhouse because I beat you in the mullet toss? Or would you rather, if I said, hey, I'll tell you what, if you do an entire show with your football helmet on, you don't have to pay me. You have to give me a steak.
Football helmet on.
You put the football helmet on? I thought you had more pride than that, man. He's like, no way. For the $300 that I might have to spend on getting everybody steaks.
The shit we've done over the last 2 years, my pride meter is at rock bottom.
At this point, man, I mean, I just take a licking and keep on ticking. Do you ever just, put the helmet on for old time's sake? Like, like you're just in your office. I mean, obviously you're at work now, but when you're at home and then you're looking at the different trophies you got, your Daniel Moore pictures and stuff. You ever just put it on and like you're back in Glendale, Arizona one last time?
No.
Come on, you do too. Like your wife walks in and in your mind, you're like,
I got the cadence going.
Yeah.
Blue lady.
Omaha. Was there somebody on the team that you had to reposition a lot? Like you're like they're always kind of out of sync, or was that not an issue for you guys?
No, not really.
Get back, Ardarius. Get back. I know you love him. I know you love some Ardarius too.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes have to calm Ardarius down when you get fired up, cussing the other team. And I feel like, hey man, let's chill out. Him and Kenyon Drake. So sometimes we'd be up, 4 touchdowns, and Kenyon was still, he was still firing. I mean, on all cylinders, pissed off at everybody. But that's what made us good, it was that mentality. It didn't matter what the score was, just angry all the time.
Oh yeah. I loved watching you guys. I told you 2015. I don't know. I may have missed one game. All right. Well, let me just start this. I'm going to tell you what my biggest trap game is on this year's schedule. Right. And I guess I probably should run down the Alabama football schedule, even though I know most of you guys know. We're expected to win all the first 5 games. And I hate when, you hear that expected, right? Like, oh, well, it's just going to happen.
We rode into Florida State, into Tallahassee, and did that tailgate show. And, I was openly just talking trash the entire time prior to that game. And, I was made a fool of walking out of that stadium, through the student section, basically.
How about that transfer, pal?
Yeah, I'll never, again, I learned my lesson that weekend. I don't want to do that again.
All right. Well, as you know,
USF 2 years ago had me nervous too.
Yeah, as you know, I was pretty nervous about that game. I'm glad it's the 3rd game. I don't even consider that a trap game. East Carolina, Kentucky, South Carolina, Mississippi State could be in that category to me. Maybe Vanderbilt, although they beat us a couple years ago. Chattanooga would certainly be a trap game if we lost that one. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, circle that October 3rd game against Mississippi State. That's in Starkville. That game worries me a little bit. And the reason why is I just feel like it's a game that everybody's going to think we should go in there and win. And when you look at their season last year, these guys had a chance to beat some good teams, right? They had Tennessee down and blew it. And that was in Starkville. They ended up losing 41-34 in overtime, but they had a lead in that game late. They couldn't hold on. They went to Florida, and basically all they had to do was run the clock out, throw an interception. Florida kicks a field goal. They lose 23-21. Not to say Florida was that great of a team last year, but still a road win in Gainesville would have been a big deal for them. They had this, what was it, like a 3-score lead against Texas at home for homecoming in October last year, and they ended up blowing it in overtime 45-38, but they gave up 3 scores in the last like 5 minutes. I thought they were competitive against Georgia. They ended up losing by 20, but 41-21, and then they got blown out in the Egg Bowl. But they used to play us really tough. When I was in school, that was always a tough game. They're in our media market. They're kind of, to me, the school in the SEC that gets the least amount of respect. And I could just, I just could see that being one. If you're not paying attention and if you're not focused, and it turns into a dog fight, unintended. And those Cowboys out, you're on the road, that you got to be careful. I just don't think Kentucky's that game, because they got a new coach. It's going to be like their first game with the guy. I mean, they're going to be trying to figure things out. Florida State beat us last year. It took a game-winning drive at the end of the game to beat South Carolina. So, I mean, that's not going to be a trap game. Georgia, Texas A&M, Tennessee, and not in that order, obviously. Those are all like rivalry-type games. And then LSU is going to be there with Lane Kiffin. The entire college football world will be watching that. Vanderbilt beat us in Nashville a couple years ago, so that's going to be a tough one. And then it's the Iron Bowl. So I mean, it's not like you got a bunch of trap games on this schedule. This is a really competitive, tough schedule to me.
My choice here, and you can pull that schedule back up if you want to.
Yeah.
One of my biggest concerns is that Tennessee game, October 17th. And I know people are going to be like, well, I mean, how can you call Tennessee a trap game? Heupel's resurrected that program. Vegas has them at 7.5 wins total, for the season coming up. I don't see the hype around Tennessee this year that has been, placed on them over the last few years. They got a quarterback battle right now that I don't think there's a clear-cut winner. Again, where Vegas has them 7.5, they're probably not going to have that great of a year. We play Georgia at home. I think, you win or lose that game. Huge emotional high in Bryant-Denny. Then you're traveling to Tennessee. When we played Tennessee my senior year, we had a 2-minute drive at the end of the game to win.
Right.
Tennessee back then was, while it was a rivalry, we had beat them, I think, at that point, 9 years in a row.
Right.
Or 8 years in a row, maybe, because I know Coach Saban lost to them once, at the end of his Alabama career. But Tennessee's, I think it's kind of going to be that sneaky team that they've got they'll have the talent to win games they shouldn't win, but I don't think they're going to have the consistency to be one of those teams that's talking playoff at the end of the year. So, you play Georgia at home. Georgia, that matchup obviously is different now than it was 10 years ago. Georgia, for the most part, has been the favorite really over the last, 6-7 years, ever since Kirby left. So, again, game that's, we played Georgia, beat them at home 2 years ago. Then next week we lose to Vandy. Now, again, that atmosphere was a little bit different. You and I remember that. We were up in Nashville, more Alabama fans than there were Vandy fans. And that kind of atmosphere will put you to sleep, when you're playing a team you think you should beat and you got more fans in their stadium than they got. But Tennessee's going to be rocking, and that's going to be one of those games where, focus tends to slip away whenever you've had a big game the week prior and you're playing somebody that in your head you should beat. So to me, it all comes down to how we come out, much like Vandy 2 years ago, or something like the way it happened against Vandy a couple years ago was we had a pick six, maybe 2 or 3 turnovers in the first half, get down 21-7, and it was clawing and scratching back to try to get into it. Ultimately, almost won at the end. Turnover at the end, ended up sealing a deal, and we should have beaten them. But that's how those games go. and instead of playing in Vandy's atmosphere, you got one of the loudest stadiums in the country. And when things go south, it's pretty demoralizing when you got 100,000 fans, just loud as hell, beating down the door, as well as 11 guys on the field doing everything they can to put a positive stamp on their season.
Well, I mean, it is their Super Bowl. I mean, and even though this isn't the Nick Saban Alabama football program, Bama beaten them so many times. It was kind of like when they finally beat Saban, it was just, I think it was like 16 straight years. So I got you, man. I mean,
it will probably be field rush worthy, most likely, because at that point in the season, we should at least be. I mean, if we beat Georgia, then Tennessee would rush the field in a heartbeat if they beat us in Neyland. But most likely, what we walk into there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0 or 5-1, and we're right there in the top 10. I would hope. Florida State doesn't have the home field advantage. I thought that was huge. I was at that game, and I don't. There was when I was at Florida State, there was one game where I felt like that place was just, absolutely electric. Maybe, 2 where I put it at the top, the upper echelon of any atmosphere I've ever been around. That was Florida State, Oklahoma. Oklahoma ended up beating us. But then there was another game. We played Clemson my sophomore year where it was crazy and it really affected the game. Now Oklahoma was better than us that year, but I really felt like the home field advantage helped us out, kept us in the game for a long time. They're not going to have that this year. South Carolina is not going to have the home field advantage this year. Kentucky could be a little bit dangerous. I think this whole transition for Kalen DeBoer is not only adjusting the SEC play, but also the SEC mentality. And from what I hear, I think that mentality within that locker room, a lot of disappointment and not being in the national championship picture, or at least conversation. I think Indiana, 38-3, that some people, some programs are just happy to make the playoff. But I know this roster is pretty upset and embarrassed by that Indiana loss, and they should be. We talked about it a million times. There's been a lot of negativity. Or I say negativity. There's a lot of setbacks that team last year had with injuries and outside factors. But you still get beat 38-3 by Indiana. That just doesn't happen in Alabama. I don't care who's playing for Indiana.
Yeah, right. Even if they have a team of guys as old as the NFL, like even if you lose the game, that to be that uncompetitive.
Yeah.
To get that whooped. We haven't seen that in a while. We lost some games and some of them haven't been pretty, but that was that's an eye opener, and we'll see how Alabama bounces back. Hey, let me remind you guys of this. I love to tell you about our friends at Patriot. 205-919-4494, Patriot Roofing and Builders. The guys over there got you covered. You're talking about unlimited home builders. They got the license to do all the stuff, and they do great work, whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and full home renovations. They do free inspections. And when you call, Will and Justin answer. So take advantage of that. If you're in the market for a roof, or you think you might need one, or you had a bad storm and you just want to make sure that everything's cool, those guys are going to come out there. They're going to tell you. If you don't need your roof replaced, they'll tell you that too. They want to do great work for you. They want to be guys that you can trust and that are reliable. And when you call, they answer. So 205-919-4494. So we talk about Bama football and 66 days. I mean, we're probably still a month away from when you really start to get things cranked up. You know what I mean? Like we're still in the dog days, but it's like I hung out with Chris Lowe last night, and it's like, okay, we're 2 or 3 weeks away from getting back on this thing.
Oh yeah, when camp starts is when the football chatter really begins, in my opinion.
Yeah, he thinks Russell's going to be the quarterback.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I think it's a coin toss right now, to be honest with you. I think it's based on Austin Mack's time with this coaching staff. I give him a little bit of an edge, but it wouldn't surprise me either way. Again, I watch them both play. I mean, if it's talent, to me is clear who the winner is, but again, talent only takes you so far playing quarterback. So I don't know who the guy's going to be. I've said it on this show before. When Keelon throws the ball, it's like dynamite coming off his hand. It's just a different type of ball. So I don't know what's going to happen. Wouldn't surprise me either way. And really, I feel comfortable with whoever's in there, to be honest with you. The only thing that would push me to Keelon is if we're shorthanded up front and we can't protect. That's when I think you gotta. I mean, it's really all out of the hands of everybody. It's just you got to give it to the guy who can make plays back there when things break down.
Right.
Who's the best guy?
Right. I think that, and this is just me, I think that if it is a grueling quarterback battle, with a knockdown, drag out type battle for the job, it's going to benefit whoever gets the job. Because I just think that when, you go through all of that and then you get through that, then the season's going to be even tougher. You're going to earn the respect of the team. Everybody's going to know it, especially if it's Russell. Like I think Mack, to me, should be the quarterback. I mean, he's been there, he's done that. He's put in all the time. So if Russell takes the job, he's got to really take it. I mean, you don't want guys on the team feeling like, well, they just gave this guy the job because he's a 5-star or you get more NIL money or something like that. You need everybody walking out of there going, that dude is just special. He's just different, Yeah.
Well, what I don't want to see happen, especially with a team like this with a lot of leadership, that's kind of. I mean, we lose a lot of linebackers. We got, based on last season, and I'm sure this unit's come together, but there's a lot of talk. There has been a lot of talk about the offensive line, obviously. I mean, given our performance protecting Ty and in the run game, and then you've got two guys at quarterback that. I mean, the decision has not been made yet. What I don't want to see is this decision playing out in the first 3-4 games, because by the time you get to Georgia, and look, Florida State's going to be a tough battle. They got talent too, But by the time you get to Georgia, everybody's got to know who they're looking at for leadership, in my opinion. Like, you got to have a team that's put together and ready to, go to war together, or whatever you want to call it. Because when shit hits the fan, if there's no leadership out on the field, then nobody knows who to look to, and communication, in my opinion, starts to break down. So I just don't want to see a chaotic start to the season with, who's getting these reps? Is practice all jacked up and disoriented? No, we got it figured out. We know who's playing. Coaches are behind them. Teams behind them. Let's move forward and win games.
Yeah,
because you get to the meat of that season, and you don't have defined leadership. To me, you start racking up losses, and then things go sideways pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, look, the season comes fast, and I'm curious to see how Alabama's offensive line gels, because that's a big part of this too. You lost 2 guys to the NFL on an offensive line that was a disappointment. So you got to replace them. And all the emphasis on coaching in this offseason has been tight ends and also offensive line. Offensive coordinator and offensive line, receivers, offensive line. Everybody that they're bringing in seems like they have some offensive line experience, but you're not going to have a first-round pick at left tackle. You're not going to have a center that went in the draft. And I'm just curious how that's, all going to work out.
Yeah, we're going to have look. Sometimes these teams gel together and play together more than teams with a bunch of 5-stars, to be honest with you. I think it's good to go into the season with a bunch of unknowns to a certain degree. You got some guys. Look, when sometimes you have leaders like the Bryce Youngs coming into a season, or Tua's. Derrick Henry was a well-known player at Alabama, but I remember that whole offseason going in, Leonard Fournette he was going to win the Heisman. Derrick wasn't quite there yet, and from the media scope, until after that LSU game, when he basically took the throne of the Heisman and never let off the gas. I know going into my senior year, we had Ryan Kelly was a well-known name, but outside of that on offense, you had Ryan Kelly and Derrick Henry was a guy that everybody knew had a lot of talent. We knew who he was, but there wasn't a crazy amount of media attention. And that team, I felt like it was a blue-collar team, man. Everybody pulled their own weight, didn't really look for any spotlight or any attention, and that made us closer and play more together. So, at the end of the day, and obviously, head coach Saban just molding that team, and again, as good of a coach as he is, he's a psychologist as well. Finds a way to make those teams grow together and play hard for each other.
Yeah.
And live up to that standard. I think, like I said earlier in the show, I think Coach DeBoer is finding a way. He's finding his way through the SEC in terms of on the field gameplay and off the field coaching, managing a roster. And of course, it's become harder with new faces every year in this era. But I think he's doing everything he can, along with Ryan Grubb, and building out that mentality of that championship mentality at Alabama again.
Yep. I hope that we're ready to go. I hope we're ready to go. That's all I'm telling you. I hope that this isn't the season where we don't hit the over under on win expectations and we lose 8 games. And I hope that we become more consistent week in and week out, because the schedule's tough enough already. There's no guarantee, and people will tell me, well, I think Alabama's going to, they're only going to lose 2 games. Hey, if they only lose 2 games, that's a successful season with this schedule. You're going to want that 2014 playoff when you got to go through this crap every year. And for some reason, because the SEC is in ESPN's back pocket, they don't want that. But it's going to be tough to be one of those 12 teams.
I mean, we got Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, LSU all in a row. And then you're at Vanderbilt after that. And everybody historically scoffs at Vanderbilt. They've lost Diego Pavia, but Clark Lee's done a great job in recruiting up there. I mean, I know they've stolen recruits from us. I know that they have landed one of the best quarterbacks in the country out of high school here recently. He's really building something over there. And again, I don't know if Vanderbilt will ever be a perennial power, but Clark Lee, he's got his dream job, and he's trying to do as much as he can at Vanderbilt. I mean, look what he's done so far. So, I mean, you got a sleeper. Speaking of trap games, that Vanderbilt game on November 14th, after playing LSU at LSU, that's as big a hurdle as Tennessee. I mean, you got, to me, 2 biggest trap games on the schedule both take place in Tennessee next year or this year.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Vanderbilt. So you got Vanderbilt there, obviously Tennessee. You mentioned that. I can't look. I can't even look ahead. Like, this isn't the Saban years where you're looking, there's 3 games we could lose. I look at that schedule. Let me pull it up one more time. And I know we wanted to talk about a couple other things, but all right. Start at the beginning. We're not going to lose to East Carolina. Could be a tough game, but I don't think that. Could we lose to Kentucky? Maybe. I don't think so. Florida State could beat us. South Carolina could beat us. Mississippi State could beat us. Georgia will be favored to beat us. At Tennessee, we've lost there the last 2 times, right? Texas A&M could beat us, and they're killing us right now in recruiting, by the way. And they bought our top returning wide receiver from us last year. LSU could beat us there. Vanderbilt beat us there last time. No chance in the world that Chattanooga beats us, and then it's the Iron Bowl. So, I mean, do you think I'm being unrealistic here? But that means that if you're counting my count of the games that are gimmies, I got 1, 2. I got 3, 4. Well, 3. I only got 3. I got East Carolina, Kentucky, and Chattanooga as the 3. I mean, sure things.
Yeah.
Now, should you win the game? Should you win that? You should win. Okay. Now you're going East Carolina, Kentucky. You should beat Florida State at home. You should beat South Carolina at home. You should beat Mississippi State there. You should beat Tennessee. You should beat Texas A&M at home. And you should beat Vanderbilt there. You should beat Chattanooga.
We should beat Texas A&M at home. That is
I think it's a tough game, but I think you should beat them. And then Auburn, you should beat them at home. I mean, we've kicked their ass at home, believe it or not. We've kicked their ass. Like, they've given us battles in Auburn, but in Tuscaloosa, they've been fresh meat.
No, hey, you're right. You're right about that. But
it's an Iron Bowl.
It's an Iron Bowl, but it's also Alex Golesh who, really kept it close and almost beat us with South Florida. At South Florida now, when they kept it close at South Florida, the circumstances were a little messed up. Rain and, Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson are coming in and out. And, but, the next year we play them at Bryant-Denny, and it's close until the end of the 4th quarter.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of these games. And then you're talking about an offense. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. We don't know who the offensive line's going to be. Running game last year stunk. We lost our best running back, so we're kind of hoping that some of these other guys can step up. Could E.J. Crowell be a guy? Do we have the other guys? Daniel Hill, is he going to be? Who knows, man? There's a lot of unknowns on offense other than Ryan Coleman Williams, who we know is a great player, but he can't catch the ball, or he dropped it 10 times last year. You feel good about the defense.
Hey, let's be a little more positive.
Well, help me here. I'm asking you to tell me, like, just get me over the hump. That's what's hard, man. That's why, like, people want to know what I think, and I'm like, the last look I had in last year's season was us getting steamrolled by Indiana and looking like we never played football before.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I got you on that front, but it's, again, you know, I talked to Ty after that whole season wound down and he was getting ready for the draft. I mean, you hear about all the things. Again, it's the end of the season. Everybody's dealing with similar stuff. But, you know, within our system with Ty and the lack of running game, I mean, the injuries, I think if you've got a healthy team, week 3, the Alabama version that played Georgia, I mean, I think it's a different style, different ball game in that scenario. I mean, I don't think we get blown out that way. I knew towards the end of the season, watching them play and watching Ty, I knew it was going to be a bleak postseason. We were falling apart, and you know, is that Kalen DeBoer's system in the SEC? I mean, are we going to be capable with the NIL money and the resources that we have to bring in enough guys and have the depth to run that system in the SEC and be durable enough to withstand that? I mean, I don't know. I know that Kalen DeBoer is a hell of an offensive mind, along with Ryan Grubb. I know that their systems work. Is it physically possible to do that through an SEC season? I would think so. Last year it wasn't. And a lot of that is, I would say a lot of that's, at the end of the day, luck. I mean,
right.
Are guys healthy or are they not?
Yeah, right. And do you have depth? I mean, you lost 2 of your depth pieces on defense to Ohio State. And maybe that, and then your top wide receiver to Texas A&M, maybe that's why they've changed their recruiting strategy, spending less money on recruits, trying to keep the guys you got. Makes sense to me. But I don't know. All right, final thing, or a couple things, short things here before we get off. But first, let me tell you about Ocean City, Maryland. Yeah. I'm ready to go there. Now's the time. It's hot. Get out on the water. I was out on the water this weekend, jumping in off the boat into the water. It's cool water up there in Maryland and Ocean City. Get your crab cakes, the boardwalk. Check out all the different things that they have. Secrets Bar, Green Turtle. I love the place. Fly up, hang out, drive up there. A lot of you guys are from the Mid-Atlantic. Go by Residence Inn by Marriott, Ocean City. And you know those guys, back to back, coastal style, hotel of the year. Hit that QR code and vote for those guys. Be a part of helping them with their Saban-like legacy, where they just keep on winning. So it's a beautiful place. Look at that pool. I'd love to be at that pool right now. Steaming hot outside. So bad news. Terrion Arnold arrested for kidnapping. It sounds like somebody ripped him off, and then he was going to take care of it himself, and doesn't seem like that was such a great idea. He was always one of my favorite Alabama players, had the great relationship with Coach Saban, and he's got a lot of legal trouble now.
Yeah, that was I hated to see that. I met him at the Florida State game last year. I know he's from Tallahassee. Seemed like a great kid. I know Coach Saban and Miss Terry love him to death. I can't imagine getting, outside of the equity of my home, I don't know how you have $250,000 stolen out of an Airbnb. Guys, I think you're gonna see a lot of this with. I don't know how to phrase this in a way that you just can't handle shit like this. These young guys, they get a ton of money, and it's. I think it's very hard to handle at a young age. I wish that, you can prepare guys all you want to, but when the real world happens, I think a lot of it becomes impulsive decisions. He had a future ahead of him, and I know he's been cut by the Lions, but there's things that a lot of times you'd like to handle your own way and just go ahead and get your money back, take it into your own hands. But when you got that kind of future, that kind of money, $250,000 in the grand scheme of things would have meant nothing in comparison to his lifetime earnings.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Do you think he's got a future? I mean, is he going to be able to fix this? I mean, with good lawyers and,
which I don't even know how he's involved, to be honest with you. I'm hearing he wasn't at the scene and I guess he was having conversations with the people that were there, and they had the wrong people. I mean, just a total disaster. There's no condoning that. It's it's just I don't even know enough about the situation to know if he will be able to get out of this. And if he is guilty of it, you gotta do your time. You gotta go through the penalty. It's just so it's so disheartening to see guys like this that you pulled for. You've met, you talked to, seem to be great guys. You want to see them make all this money and have a happy life. Do what they want to do with their money and just succeed overall. But seeing these stories are just the worst.
It breaks my heart, man. I mean, because he just seemed like such a great dude,
Yeah, and I'm not saying, again, I'm not you got to do your time for, take the punishment if you made a wrong decision. And I think I know there's this is a weird story to me, and you got to take your licks when you screw up. And I hate it for those people that apparently didn't steal anything going through that. Man, you hate to see anybody put through that. So I don't even know I don't know how to even respond to that. It's just another one of those stories that it's like, guys, we please realize the beneficial situation that you're in and have somebody around you to tell you not to fuck this up.
Yeah. God, isn't that the truth, man?
And have some people, you gotta associate with the right people and have people you can lean on and talk to with a clear head, that have money, that have been through situations like this. And it's going to be hard. I'm sure it's hard to find somebody who's been in a situation where they had $250,000 stolen from an Airbnb. But hell, man, call Coach Saban. My gosh,
yeah, right.
You can't make these impulsive decisions. You got to think about what you're putting at risk. I think there's an overall body of work or experience. Coach Saban, I know, is vouching for him, and I know he's one of Coach Saban's favorite players. In terms of consistency, the consistency of his character, he's been doing the right thing for a long time. And I hate to see a slip up like this affect his entire lifestyle or his entire life. But you gotta talk to people that can put some clear thinking in your head, calm you down a little bit, and make real world good decisions. I'm just so tired of seeing these stories where guys, they just destroy a lifetime full of wealth, generational wealth.
Yep.
And set up your family down the line for success,
Yeah. This one's, it feels a lot like the Henry Ruggs thing, like where you're so disappointed because you like the guy so much. And then, and the situation's really awful and you don't really know what to say or think about it other than, you're just hurt for them and everybody that's involved, and you're like, man, like you said too, get people around you that are going to help you make good decisions. And it's sometimes that's easier said than done. I'm
one of those again. I heard a guy put a gun in somebody's mouth. If you're involved in that, you gotta do your time, and you gotta be. You gotta accept those penalties. That's just for somebody who didn't. Who wasn't involved to get brought into that and held at gunpoint. Man, that's a horrible scenario. And look, I can understand frustration, with having that kind of money stolen from me. I've got to temper myself, but you got to be able to manage that, and you got to be able to make the right decision. You got to be able to surround yourself with the right people. I want to see. There's too many stories like this, and guys just got to understand what they have. What kind of opportunity they have in front of them. You got to think smarter. You got to think clear.
Well said. Well said. And we wish him the best of luck as he goes through the legal process. But anyway, guys, you give us your opinion. Tell us what you think. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Also, Pearl River Resort. I'm going there here in the next couple weeks. I can't wait to get back there again. And I know it's a short trip for you guys, hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. When you go, say, hey, man, I watched the guys on the last call talk about this. Be a part of the next round. And here's Jake. Some happier times, Jake, with you and Steve Azar. And you guys are just winning at the casino. And he's riding a crowd surf. And, you're throwing footballs in the dice. You guys are magical. You guys are magical. Let's roll. You ever heard that? Let's roll. All right.
So, Jake, let's break down some game tape.
Hold on, fellas. Steve.
Hey, Jake. You ready to rock?
Let's roll, brother.
Guess we're calling plays at Pearl River Resort. Wow, Jake's first throw scores. And Steve's got the crowd pumped. Man, they're absolutely rolling.
'Cause I don't have to be me till Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I ain't gonna face reality.
I tell you, Jake's still got game. While Steve keeps rocking aces. Boom, Jake seals it with a pick.
Come call your own plays
At Pearl River Resort. Let's roll.
I don't have to be me